What is up, RotoGrinders? Happy Wednesday. Happy Wheel Wednesday. We are going to be spinning the wheel later on the show. Get yourself week 3 of RG Premium. How do you do that? Get the Discord channel, rotogrinders.com/Discord, the live stream chat channel. Producer Steve's got a post there. Just hit the avatar, hit the wheel, and you're eligible. We also had some gifted wheel spins, so we're starting at 2. We get 100 likes, we'll give you a third spin to get yourself a week 3 of RG Premium. Kind of a bummer that FanDuel and DK did not get on the same page. Shock of shocks. So a little bit different as far as the slates. We'll talk about both. FanDuel is going to be locking at some point during our show. They are including the 640 games, starting with Kansas City and Tampa, the Yankees, Detroit, Pittsburgh, Seattle, as well as Philadelphia and Washington. However, FanDuel could not risk including Chicago and the Mets because they were playing a doubleheader. And what would have happened if they played like 37 innings and that, the game is going on still at like 8 o'clock, and then everything would have went bonkers, I suppose. Like, they did not risk it. DK did include that. They're starting their slates. 707 on the East Coast. 2 of the absolute best in the business. We got Derek Carty, CEO of the Bat and the Blitz. And in like give or take 12 years or so, the Boot. We're making it happen. The Boot is coming as well for soccer. Dave Potts, cheese is good. 2-time millionaire winner. Cheese, happy Wednesday. How are things? Contain yourself. There is going to be 2 soccer games starting at 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
While we're on air, so I know you're going to be distracted.
Well, I'll have to, if I have to leave early, you know why. And we do need a soccer projection system, like, to tell us that there's going to be 1 goal scored, maybe, if they play long enough in a game. That's going to be exciting stuff for sure. Everyone projected at like 0.1. I don't know what soccer scoring. You have to get points for like standing still for a certain amount of time to make something happen. Anyway,
crosses, corners.
How are you guys?
Doing well. How about yourself, Cardi? How are things? How's life treating you? Everything all right?
Yeah, life's treating me good. Things are good. Bat's been doing well. Things are good.
Mbappe would be projected for like 0.9 goals and just break the boot. I don't know. Yeah, 0.9 would be a monster number, I got to imagine. But all right. Let's get back on track. We got time on a Wednesday. Hit that like button. Do subscribe. Do turn on those notifications. Again, a little bit different as far as the slates. We are going to talk about the FanDuel slate. We'll talk about the DK slate. There is some crossover, of course, but FanDuel is 10 games. DK is 7 by my unofficial count, I believe. I believe that is correct. So it's weird, man, especially for DK, Cheese. Some slates I feel really good, whether I'm right or I'm wrong, or it works out or it doesn't. I feel like this is the path. I'm going to pick like 2 of these 4 pitchers. I'm going to focus on these 3 or 4 offenses, and that's basically what I'm doing. And I don't have conviction as far as my pitchers, really. I don't have conviction as far as my stacks. There's no stacks, no teams. So a team total about 5 in this slate today. We're not in Sacramento. We're not in parts unknown. We're not in Vegas. We're not in Coors. There's no amazing weather. There's no incredible hitting conditions. I'm so wide open as far as this slate. I have very little conviction. I have no clue where I'm going. I'll be making my lineups here on the fly. I put in a shell, but not a lot of conviction behind that either. Do you feel similar? Is that just me? Is that a vibe do you think a lot of people are having today? Because it's just not a lot that stands out. It's just a bunch of teams that are pretty good, but not great. Is that fair?
On DK, I think that's absolutely fair. Like, you maybe kind of put the Brewers up top, maybe, but it's not like anything's bad either. Like, every team is like right between 4 and 4.5 total, which seems about right. Like, you look at all of them and you would say they probably score 5 runs tonight. I definitely feel that way on the offense. And then, on the pitching, it's so different between the sites. Like, it's not even like a semi-related slate. I kind of love the FanDuel slate, and I'm sad I couldn't play more just because of the timing of it. I actually much prefer the FanDuel slate with so many more options. Because on DK, what's going to happen is, I don't think really anybody loves Ohtani, and it seems like you shouldn't be able to fit him, but it's kind of almost too easy to fit him once you start building lineups. So we're going to have a guy who's probably not technically worth 11.5 being 40% owned, just because you can. I agree with your general sentiment that there's not any one thing just like jumping off the page like, ooh, this is it tonight.
Yeah, and for FanDuel, we're including. Oh, should note, by the way, no Schwarber. Schwarber is not in the lineup for Philadelphia. That is of note. Mr. Smile is back. Francisco Lindor is back for the Mets. Let's see. Who else did I have written down that was of note? No Drake Baldwin, who's really been scuffling since coming back from his injury for Atlanta. Bobby Witt still out. It feels like they're at the point now where just throwing the IL. It seems like it's been like 6 or 7 days or so. I'm not really sure what they're doing there, unless he pinch hit and I missed it. But I don't think he's played in the game for like at least 5 days or so. Alec Burleson getting a day off. He was supposed to get one yesterday. He's getting it today against a lefty. Carr, did you feel similar as far as, again, as conviction goes? I don't feel a ton of conviction. And the slates, of course, they are different. Skubal, pitching-wise, you get Skubal there on FanDuel. Seems like the best play against a somewhat watered-down Yankee team. And his kind of a discount for Skubal when you consider the prices around him on FanDuel. Ashcraft you're getting Woo as well. And then hitting environment, you got Philadelphia and Washington. So, yeah, the slates are distinctly different. We'll talk about it. But do you have a similar thought when it comes to like, oh, this is for sure the play? Or it's like one of these 7 teams are my favorite. And then give me your pitching, your pitching perspective as far as the slate tonight.
Yeah, it's definitely similar sentiment to what she said, where like, and what you said, which is that there's not anything that really sticks out tonight as like I have to get this kind of spot. There are a couple of hitting spots that I like more than others, but it's pretty spread out. Pitching is not great today. It thins out very quickly after the top guy or two. On FanDuel, like you said, Tariq Skubal is on the slate. I think he's the guy that you get on FanDuel. I think he's clearly the best point per dollar guy, best, optimal cash guy. Not even projected to be like crazy high owned. So even in tournaments, the bat has him at 31%. So I like a lot of Skubal today. After that, on the FanDuel slate, I think you can definitely have Ryan Weathers and Griffin Jacks in your pool. Over on DraftKings, none of those guys are available. So you're left with what she said, which is kind of an overpriced Shohei Ohtani, who's going to be like 45% owned. He doesn't quite project for even 20 points today, but there's only 2 other pitchers on the whole slate that project for more than 15. So it's really not a great pitching slate. My second favorite guy is probably Imanaga. I like what he's done this year. I know the Backcast stuff model likes his stuff. Thinks he's improved quite a bit over what he did last year. Getting game 2 of the Mets here, which will help a little bit. And the price is good relative to pretty much everybody else on the slate except for Ohtani. So I like Imanaga. And then after that, it's kind of like Joe Ryan's there, but he's overpriced. It doesn't look like we're going to get a big ownership discount, even though he's facing the Dodgers. So normally I would have been like, okay, if we're going to get him at like 10% owned, like, okay, you can spend up on him against the Dodgers and, have a guy who talent-wise is one of the better ones on the slate, but people aren't going to play. But it looks like people are actually going to kind of play him. So that's kind of out. After that, it's kind of, 6 or 7 guys that all project very similarly. Like you have Savage, who has probably more upside than any of the others. You have Gage Jump. I don't mind taking shots on some of the lower owned guys in this range, guys like JP Sears, guys like Shane Drohan, even Manaea. I don't mind taking a shot on. But really, it's a gross pitching slate.
Geez, you want to give me your perspective here as far as pitchers? Feel free to touch on FanDuel first, and then knock out DK. As I guess I have a mic issue over here. I'm going to try and fix it. If you don't hear me for a second, that's what's happening.
All right. Yeah, FanDuel, totally different slate. Like you could argue either way about Skubal versus Ohtani if they were the same price, but like a $1,500 discount is kind of silly. Whether you think Skubal is, even with just the watered down Skubal we've seen this year, he's still great. Like he shouldn't be 10K. So I would just play him. I'm also fine with Ryan Weathers, like for 9K. He's been very up and down, but that's kind of priced in now. And he keeps getting strikeouts. Like he'll have a couple bad starts, and the home runs might be real, but then he keeps striking everybody out. So I think he's pretty good for 9K. I didn't need to go any cheaper than him on FanDuel. You could. We do have that tier where Cardi mentioned Griffin Jacks. I would probably play Noah Cameron ahead of him, only because, like, how many times can this guy go 5 great innings on like 60 pitches, and he comes out, they pull him every time. Like, every time I'm like, they're gonna go him 6 innings today, right? And they never, like, I have to see it. I'm gonna have to see it before. Like, I don't know what they're doing, because it's not like he's tiring. I mean, he's at like 60 pitches and looking great, 3 starts in a row, and they're like, that's plenty. So I don't think I'll play him on FanDuel. But if tonight's the night he goes 6, which he could go 7, I need to see it. I think it's fine if you're playing MME. I would want a little Braxton Ashcraft along with Ohtani in there. But for the most part, just play Skubal. And then on the DraftKings side, I am drastically under on Ohtani, which I don't feel great about, because I'm surprised how easy it is to get him. I was originally planning to be under on him because it seems like a lot, 11.5, but you just build a few lineups and it's like, it's not that hard to get him. But I just don't. He's great and he's fantastic and I love him, but I'm still not sure that he's really. I mean, he has like a 27% strikeout rate. I mean, he's like. And I don't even want to throw the he's been lucky card. Like, he's so good. Like, him being lucky, I don't even know what that means. Like, he's great. So I'm not trying to tell anyone not to play Ohtani. I'm just saying, when I build these lineups, I would just rather have the extra couple bats, because I think we're going to get, if we get 20, even 25 from Ohtani, I think we'll get 15 to 20 from a few other guys, and I'm good with that. To me, Imanaga is the guy at 83. I really want to like Trey Yesavage.
You didn't want to pronounce it like the way Cardi pronounced it?
It's, I mean, I'm going to pronounce it correctly. So, like, this guy is going to be good. And he might be good right now. Like, the talent is great. But, like, he's had 2 games in his last couple where he's walked more than 6 batters. Like, what is happening? And it's one of those, he could turn it on at any moment, and I won't be surprised. But I don't trust enough to play him over Imanaga. And then I'm playing Gage Jump ahead of him. I think you go either way on that one. We don't really know yet on either of them. I think long-term, both these guys are good. I would just, when I don't trust either of them, I will take the guy pitching in San Francisco, and Gage Jump also hasn't walked like 400 batters in the last week. So I'll just go with that. And then as far as the cheap stuff, I think Drohan for 6,500 is too cheap. He might give up 3 home runs. Anyone might give up 3 home runs to the Reds in Cincinnati, and they might also strike out 10 times. Like, they're very boom or bust kind of team, and he's pretty cheap for being what looks like a decent pitcher. And I will also say what I said in the musings, like, Martin Perez is actually good at pitching. It's weird and magical. I don't think we need
the right word.
Yeah, it is. It really is.
He's getting outs. Like, that's
exactly. That's his job. But 7,500, that it's kind of priced out of like where it's his level of goodness is not worth more than 7,500. It's kind of like, how bad really are the Padres? And I think they are really that bad. Like, if we didn't have Drohan, I would be playing a fair amount of Perez. But we do have Drohan, and it's $1,000 cheaper. So I do lean his way. But officially, I'm a huge Martin Perez fan. I love it when a guy, like 3 years ago, we thought he was done. Like, he was always kind of a punching bag. And then he fell off a cliff when he was like in his early 30s. And we're like, all right, he's done. And now he's getting older and getting stronger. That is very inspirational. That's what I would like to do. I'm going the opposite way, but I would love to see it happen.
He's still getting all his ground balls.
Yeah. And hey, let's just mention there's a $4,000 pitcher who really actually might be good. with Mitch Bratt. The problem is he's probably going to get like 60 pitches. Like he was on the IL in the minors with the back injury. He came back and threw.
He only made one start back from the injury before this start.
So
like he's
the odds of him getting more than 60 are pretty low, and I would say 70 is like a ceiling. So I don't think you need it on this slate. I kind of wish we did need it, but you just don't. So I don't think you need to go for that much lack of ceiling on a slate that we just don't really need the salary.
Cardi, on the Perez, do you know by chance Joey Bart, is he a noted good framer, bad framer, somewhere in the middle? I don't know much about
pretty sure he's somewhere in the middle, but I can double check.
Yeah, because I imagine that Perez
he's
and Bart
neutral.
Yeah, they probably like basically never worked together. I don't know how much that stuff matters, but I guess it matters a little bit less too now with the replay, the challenge stuff.
That's we don't have time to delve into. Have you looked at that at all? Like, does framing lose its effectiveness now? Has it? Have we seen that?
A little bit, but it's still definitely there, especially because like you're not challenging every pitch. There's plenty of pitches, especially ones that are not in like 2-strike or 3-ball counts that are not getting challenged. So framing still matters, umpires still matter, just not to the extent that they used to.
We don't have time to get into it, my rants, but like nothing tilts me more than like the number 8 hitter in like the 3rd inning, on like an 0-2 count, challenging a pitch. It's like don't you know who you are and what the game situation is? There's nobody on base. There's nobody lecturing these guys. Like this is so important, like when to use them. It's a massive strategy angle. And like, I don't know, it's just like they're overly confident. I got it. I'm trying to remember who it was. That's like, man, I saw a note the other day, somebody saying who's won the most challenges. Was it,
Sal Stewart, maybe?
It might have been Sal Stewart. I think that's what it was. Like Sal Stewart's very good at knowing the strike zone. I'm pretty sure he's the guy. And by the way, I did drop a source. Somebody in chat was talking about the Griffin Jack stuff. One of the beats for Tampa, Ryan Bass was talking about Griffin Jackson has been dealing with a blister on his finger. So maybe that's in part why they're not letting him go much deeper in games. I would also say that they just want him for the playoffs. And, they're going to kind of limit his innings, I think. Tampa's thinking long term. But like you said, Cheese, you're holding your breath for their 6 innings at a Jacks, even when he's pitching great. And it's just not happening. Cardi, do you think you're the pitcher you're willing to play, the cheapest pitcher on DK? I guess that's kind of are you willing to play Bratt? How many lineups do you have to make to get the Bratt? Essentially is the question, if at all.
More than you're allowed to make. I have no interest in Bratt today. Like Cheese said, he dealt with, I think it was a shoulder injury in the minors. Only made 1 start back from that before tonight. Probably not going to go more than like 60 or 70 pitches. He's 4K, sure, but it's not the slate where you need that, I don't think either.
You mentioned Sears, and like I was just kind of looking at his minor league stuff this year, and it's been rough. He hasn't been in the majors. I think this is his first start in the majors, I believe, this season. Last year he was around for 130 innings or so, and not horrific, not good. 5 ERA, I guess, but a little bit unlucky, I suppose you could say. Is that somebody you're considering? Cheese, I know you're running down some cheap pitchers. I don't think you said Sears. Is he somebody as a potential cheapie for you, or no, not so much?
I'm not playing Sears tonight now.
Yeah, I don't think so either. But I can see he's cheap in Atlanta. That lineup, they're without Baldwin, they're without Acuna. There's some tough names. Kim.
Once you get below Imanaga, like you can make a case for any of them if you wanted to do something different. But no, he did not make my pool.
All right. Anything else you want to say as far as pitchers? I think we covered it pretty much up and down, both on FanDuel and DK. You got anything else, Cardi?
No, I think that covers it. The only thing I'd chime in about the blister thing with Jax, if that's why they've been holding him back, and it's been, I don't know, a few weeks now.
Why pitch him at all?
I mean, why pitch him at all? But also, like, if they decide it's less of an issue, all of a sudden he might just start going 70 or 80 pitches. So I don't mind taking shots on Jax, especially because I just think talent-wise he's so good.
Yeah. What is the price on FanDuel for Jacks? So you're probably unlikely to get the quality start, right?
Okay.
It's basically impossible unless they, let them get to the 6th inning, which has not happened just yet. You got anything else, Cheese, as far as pitchers? I'm trying to see if any other names being thrown out here in chat. And they're talking about a lot of names. We're talking about Jump, who might, I think he's legit good, potentially. There was some pedigree there as well, and a massive ballpark shift in his favor in San Fran. This is, I don't know why I got on this today. Do you guys want to guess? Let's have fun. You're not going to know, but you can guess. Oracle Park, San Francisco, opened in 2000. How many official splash hits have happened? And now they only count the home team, right? How many official splash hits over into McCovey Cove has there been since 2000 in San Fran? I'll let Cardi go first.
It's 2000. Bonds hit a bunch of them. I'm going to say like 150.
Cheese?
I don't think I knew that they only counted the home team.
Well, I'm pretty sure because they have like an official counter, and like what I saw in the AI, they gave me a number, and then they have like we think in total it's this number, like more or less this, or possibly a little higher than that. So like it seems like they only keep track of the home team. I think. I
don't have a clue in the world. 87.
108. And follow-up question, of the 108, how many were Barry Bonds?
106.
35, 100, 108 are Barry Bonds. And the number 2 guy, Brandon Belt.
Brandon Belt.
Oh, yeah.
10 for Brandon Belt, 8 for the Panda, 7 for Mike Yastrzemski, lefty, Wade, 6, Denard Span. That's a name. 5. So there you go.
I didn't know Denard Span hit 5 home runs in his career. He had 5 into the McCovey Cove.
Yeah, that one surprised me. I was like, Denard Span? I didn't really see. Yeah, I didn't realize he had that pop. Okay, there you go. That is pitchers. We're going to talk about today's tiers. We're going to open up that in just a second. Oh, here's a question. Anthony has got a question for Cardi. Scooble or Savage on FanDuel? I think it's Scooble, right, Cardi?
Scooble for me. Yeah, Scooble.
Just got the Giants lineup, by the way. We'll tell you if there's anything different, anything goofy in there. I think it looks a little different on the
that
first
spelling
page.
In that question was like the Russian instead of the French. Yes, Savage. Both guys kind of scary in their own way, honestly.
Yeah, Span was a triples guy. I don't really remember him so much as a homer guy. It's pronounced Yazir Badewski. Yes, my apologies. Yes, Mike Yazir Badewski has 7 home runs all time in San Francisco. All right. Let's talk about today's tiers. So you guys may have seen the story. You probably saw the story. Jazz, remember Jazz Chisholm? He was on the field eating a blow pop. You guys caught that? And people
couldn't have missed it. That's all anyone's talking about for something like it's the most important thing of all time.
Yeah, I don't understand why it's a big deal, but then I started to think for today's tier category, best foods to eat while playing baseball. So I prioritize foods to eat while playing baseball. That is today's tier list. So Cardi, what would be the best food to eat while you're playing baseball?
Are we talking in terms of like optimizing your performance on the field? Because like if you want to eat like a whole pizza, that's probably pretty difficult to do.
Can we say ribs? Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Well, I went with the chalk. What do most players actually eat while they're playing baseball? Not many players are actually eating while they're out there. Sunflower seeds, yes.
Okay.
No Arise for San Fran. I was looking at that lineup, looked a little bit different. Haas is in there doing the catching as well, so no Luis Arise. Sunflower seeds is the tier 1. And yeah, the blow pop thing is pretty silly and like whatever, it's not a big deal. So I got it made the board and it's number 2. So let me ask you this. This is more of a fun question. Cheese, what's the most ridiculous? What would be the hardest food to eat while playing baseball?
And is this something that someone has actually done, or you're just
not to my knowledge? No.
Yeah, lobster.
Yeah, you're close. Thinking of the mechanics of it, yeah. I went with crab legs. I think crab legs. You got to have like the tools. You got to have like a mallet. You know, if you want, you got to have a glove. Yeah, a mallet. You got to the seafood picks, the seafood crackers, and then a meatball sub. Like that seems pretty tricky as well. Like you can lose a whole meatball at some point. Maybe you can get away with this like in left field, possibly. The ball doesn't come to you. And I also wanted to talk about. You guys remember Turk Wendell? Remember Turk Wendell?
Oh yeah.
Turk
Number
Wendell was
99.
he was the most interesting player in baseball in the 90s, the early aughts. Before he was a pitcher, he was superstitious. He had all sorts of different things he did, but most remembered, I think, for being the guy that would throw a wad of black licorice, before he went out to the mound. And he would brush his teeth when he'd come back from the dugout. He'd brush his teeth like 4 or 5 times, depending how well he's pitching, 4 or 5, 6 times a game. He would jump over the lines like he was so superstitious. He signed a contract for $9,999,000, and like all nines, because he loved the number 9. He had a 3. He made sure that was his contract, and he wore a shark tooth necklace made out of 9s. The dude was an interesting character. Played mostly for the Cubs and the Mets. Geez, you remember Turk Wendell? You recall this guy?
Yeah, I did not remember the licorice though, honestly.
Yeah. There's video footage of it. So that is why licorice made it on the board and it's number 3, because Turk Wendell made it a thing. He would be on the mound, chewing and spitting his black licorice as he pitched. Give him a Google. He had all sorts of different things he did. Okay, so that is today's tier board, and let's throw some teams into some tiers. We're gonna put Cheese first because Cheese is the no, you're not the returning champion. You weren't here yesterday, right? I don't think you were. I can lose track of days. You were here on Monday. Nonetheless, you still won the coin toss, Cheese. We are going to run through the FanDuel stuff. We'll do that pretty quickly. We'll knock out the first FanDuel games here. Kansas City at Tampa. Cheese. It's Griffin Jacks, the aforementioned Griffin Jacks at home. -144 against favorite against Kansas City. Kansas City, Noah Cameron. Of note, again, still no Bobby Witt. So their team total is paltry at about 3.5. Tough ballpark as well. Royals, Rays, Cheese.
So on this FanDuel slate where we have so many more games, like I feel like you have to kind of cross a bunch of stuff off. And to me, this is one of those games. I mean, you could play something. Like I guess I'll put them both in meatball sub just because there's a path to something. But it's one of those, I don't really know why you would play either of these teams on this slate. Like it's 2 decent pitchers. I mean, if you want to play like Caminero Diaz or something, great. If you want to play Caglianone, great. But I wouldn't really be stacking these teams.
Cardi, any issue or both in meatball sub? Does that work for you?
I'd have KC down in crab legs. Like, kind of like she said, you don't need these teams at all today. I don't want to pick on Griffin Jacks. I think he's very good. I'd have them lower, but it's, splitting hairs a little bit.
The only issue with not playing any Kansas City is you don't get any Caglianone. He's going to hit 3 more homers today because that dude is he's arrived. I think he's arrived.
Hot streak. I forgot. Yeah. So yeah.
No,
so they should probably be up even higher.
He's just good, Cardi. Just admit I know he's actually did he play last year? Is he officially a rookie? He might be qualified as a rookie. I'm not sure, but I think Caglianone is just going to be awesome. Lots of pedigree there as well. But I do agree that they should be at least meatball or crab legs. But I'm going to keep them in meatball sub. But wouldn't play any of this stuff certainly in a stack. Yankees, Detroit, Cardi. It's Tarek Skubal taking on the Yankees. Ryan Weathers on the other side. 7 total. Lefty starting for New York, so you might get some pinch hit shenanigans for Detroit once Weathers exits the game. Well, Jazz is in this. You got almost. I'm not saying you have to put him in blow pop the Yankees, but that would be appropriate, I suppose. However, it's Tarek Skubal, so maybe it wouldn't. Yankees, Detroit, Cardi.
Yankees are definitely in crab legs for me. I have no chance I want anything to do with them tonight. Scubal's just too good. There's too much else on this slate to like. It's not even like the kind of slate where you want to try to get different or anything. Like ownership's not going to matter that much. Just skip the Yankees and move on with your life. Tigers, they're probably down there for me too. I'd prefer them to the Yankees against Skubal, but they're kind of a team I would rule out as well, facing one of the better pitchers on the slate.
So Detroit in crab legs or meatball sub?
Yeah, I'd probably have them in crab legs.
Geez, do we like the offense here? Probably not. Maybe you do. You tell me.
I mean, definitely not like. I mean, officially, if I were doing a bunch of lineups, there are rules that we have to follow, and the Yankees are one of those rules. And Skubal is great, and the reality is he's given up 4 home runs in his last 3 games, and his last couple he hasn't made it 6 innings. None of that means anything. He's great. I'm not saying I want to play against him, but if I had 50 lineups, I would absolutely have a Yankee stack. If they get him out in the 5th inning, which has been done several times this year, then it's still the Yankees. So I wouldn't like cross them off the list, but essentially, yeah, both these first 2 games, I don't have enough lineups to have either of these teams.
Are you making a push for the Yankees in meatball sub just because you said like 1 in 50?
I don't even want to say I'd make a push for it. If it was just my board and no one else's, I would put them in meatball sub.
Yeah. Because I would agree. I think you can get a pinch, just a pinch of New York. Right? Skewball is probably not 100% Skewball right now. You're locked in for 9. They're a little bit cheaper, I suppose. That's kind of the counter argument of without Judge. But we'll leave it up to producer Steve, Met fan producer Steve. We'll see where he wants to put. If he wants to adjust the Yankees, or there. Oh, nope. He gave us the old Okie.
That was beautiful. Beautifully done.
Taking us out. Seattle, Pittsburgh, Woo versus Ashcraft. This is your board, Cheese. Where do you want to put the Mariners and the Pirates? 8 total, and basically a coin toss. Pittsburgh, the slight favorite here. How do you feel about the offenses in PNC?
Exact same thing. Like these first 3 games are the 3 that I think you pretty much just pretend like they don't exist. Like they're all good pitchers. Woo and Ashcraft are very good pitchers. You could play a left-handed power bat or 2 for Pittsburgh. I wouldn't argue with you, but I don't know why you would stack these teams. I don't have any idea where to put them between the bottom 2 tiers. Like the point is with all of these teams, if I had like 50, 60 lineups, I would get to something, at least like a Pirates mini stack. So let's put them in meatball sub. It's kind of like the Tampa Kansas City game. Like, sure, they get 3 runs off the starter and they get a random big inning against the bullpen. It can happen, but basically skip it.
Yeah. And the lefties, Lau really good against righties, obviously. Horwitz has been good this year, good power, O'Hearn. So you can tell yourself a story. So Cardi, we have both teams in tier 4. No offenses we like just yet. Get ready. It'll change. It's got to change soon enough. But is it changing for you, Cardi? Or we still have 2 more teams we don't really like a heck of a lot?
Yeah, I feel very similarly. I have very little interest in either of these teams. I think it's fine where Cheese has them.
Okay, this is the last of the FanDuel games. We'll talk DK here in a second. 7:07 is their start time. We do have to acknowledge Philadelphia. Philadelphia taking on Washington. An actual legit total that's somewhat appealing. Almost a 5 total for Philadelphia. However, no Kyle Schwarber. Which, by the way, how annoyed are we? I bet Cheese is annoyed by this. That DK. I know they're not on the DK slate, but
it's so Schwarber, you don't even have to say it. And I'm tilted already. It's so dumb.
I guess it's kind of right because Schwarber doesn't play. I don't know. I suppose
if you don't know what Dean was going to say, Harper and Schwarber are both first base only on DraftKings. So every time we've been trying to play Phillies last week, like it's just so obnoxious.
And there was that one game where immediately Schwarber had 3 homers. I think Harper had the cycle and you had the wrong guy, right? Because 3 homers is worth more. So Cardi, Philadelphia, Washington. Palmquist, the lefty opener here, and then Miles Michaelis. And then one of the best offenses in baseball, at least they have been, James Wood and CJ Abrams, just absolute powerhouse against Nola, who's pretty vulnerable to lefties. Where are we putting Philadelphia and Washington? How much does the lack of Schwarber matter for you?
It matters, but not enough to take me off of them. Even without Schwarber, this is still a really good offense, and they're in a really good matchup against Miles Michaelis, and they're very reasonably priced. So I'd have them at least in blow pop, if not higher. I think blow pop's probably where I'd land. And then
in Washington,
Washington I'd have in licorice. Like I like them more than all the other teams we've talked about so far, but there are a number of other teams on the slate that I like more. I'm not like going out of my way to pick on Aaron Nola with Washington.
No Curtis Mead in that lineup today for what it's worth. Cheese, we got a couple teams that are up the board somewhat. Philadelphia and blow pop, Washington in licorice. What say you?
That's where I have the Phillies. I mean, I have the Nationals in sunflower seeds. I will let you decide where you want to put them. Aaron Nola is like, you could argue that Zach Little and Merrill Kelly are worse than him at giving up homers, but it's close. Like, he's the next guy. And Washington is the highest scoring team in the whole league by a lot. Things are what they are.
1.78 homers per 9 this season for Nola.
Are you buying into Washington that hard though? Like, you have to be expecting them to get worse, right?
Well, I don't expect Wood and Abrams to get worse, and it's a little different on FanDuel where you only need 4 guys for a stack, and 2 of them
That's
are just super elite. And like, I believe that like Louis Garcia is like a good real life hitter. I kind of believe Dalen Lilly and Curtis Mead and even Dylan Cruz are like good-ish. So, I mean, no, I don't literally think they're the best offense in the league, but I do think it's pretty legit.
Is that like your 3rd, 4th, and 5th favorites? Garcia, Cruz, and Lyle. I guess that makes sense, right?
Yes.
Let's put Washington. We'll do a little compromise. We'll put Washington in blow pop. So not all the way up to sunflower seeds. We'll put them in blow pop. Okay, let's get to the DK slate. This is on FanDuel as well. Houston, Toronto. Mike Burrows taking on Trey Savage. 8.5 total. Toronto is the minus 145 favorite here. Cheese, this is your board. Toronto, Houston.
This game has been flummoxing me all day. I don't know if you're supposed to lose flummoxing that way or just having been flummoxed, but like Savage again, like he's supposed to be good, and maybe he is, and he has been kind of good against righties, which matters, but he also might be just horrifyingly bad at any given moment. I'm going to put Houston right in the middle.
There's your definition, Cheese.
Right, but the question is oh, there it is. Describes the act of, yeah, that's exactly right. Man, thank you.
It's almost like you write for a living.
Yeah. And the Blue Jays are kind of the same thing. Like Burrows he looks pretty much terrible against lefties and really not terrible against righties. And I'm not like super thrilled with Blue Jays lefties, but then their righties are pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm going to put them in the middle. I could argue for them in blow pop, but I'll leave them in the middle.
Cardi?
I really like the Blue Jays today. I would have them. I mean, I'd argue you could put them in sunflower seeds, but I'd probably put them in blow pop. You're getting good prices on them. I think the matchup is good. I don't think Burrows is any good at all. I like the Blue Jays quite a bit today. In terms of Houston, I think they're probably where they belong.
Talk to me about Varsho, because he's not hitting the ball hard at all, Cardi. If you look at the advanced stuff, he's in the 10th percentile as far as average exit velocity. I think last year, I'm going to pull up the last year stuff. Yeah, I mean, he was one of the top guys as far as barrels. Why is he having a bad season? Should I continue to keep playing Varsho? Why is he not homering? Has he been disappointing for you? Are you still playing him? I guess he's cheap enough is the argument to keep playing him.
Yeah, he's definitely not the same guy he was. Like you said, his barrels are down, his exit velocity is down. He's not launching the ball in the air as much. His bat speed's down like 3 miles per hour, I think. Like his swing looks very different this year. But in the right spots, you can still definitely play him, especially in your stacks. But no, I don't like Varsho as much as I did last year.
Yeah, I feel like he's been pretty disappointing. I know you wanted to move Toronto up. I'm just a little apprehensive because kind of the way Nathan Lucas, and then also he's a pinch hit threat, and he kind of stinks when he's out there. Prefer the righties are better, but tougher matchup against Burrows right on right. But they are well priced. Springer's got 2.9 on FanDuel. I'm going to keep them in the middle, but I see kind of both sides of it. And I think you guys did not touch. You guys agreed on Houston, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Is that correct? I think so. Correct. Okay. Cardi, Cubs, Mets. This is DK only. FanDuel did not include this one. You mentioned earlier, Francisco Lindor, Mr. Smile, officially back. But of course, okay, it's like the Mets are not allowed to play Lindor and Soto together. And Soto's not available. They just kind of seem to be flip-flopping. Soto not in today for the Mets. Cubs are minus 112 favorites. By the way, Senga, what's the solution with this? I know he's not in the slate, but he entered yesterday's game with a 9 ERA and it went up. That guy just gets hammered every time he's out there.
I said today I'm moving him to the bullpen.
Every Mets pitcher gets hammered.
But not to that extent, Steve. They don't have a 9 ERA. Imanaga taking on Manaya. 8.5 total here, Cardi. Talk to me about the Cubs and the Mets.
Manaya has looked better, especially since joining the rotation, but I'm not sold yet on him being like back to the guy he was. I know the Batcast stuff model, it kind of sees him like some starts looking good, some starts not looking as good. So I'm having a hard time like getting a beat on who Sean Manaea is right now, but I do like the Cubs. I think on this slate, working under the assumption that Manaea is okay, the Cubs still project like one of the better teams on the slate. So I'm fine having them in sunflower seeds. I'd be fine having them in blow pop too. I'd probably put them in blow pop personally. And then the Mets against Imanaga, they would be down in like meatball sub. I don't really want to play the Mets today. I don't want to pick on Imanaga, but he can give up fly balls. He can give up home runs. You will get a little bit of Cheese's favorite. You can spread some leverage on them. And yeah, so I'd probably have a meatball sub.
I would just say Lindor, when he is Lindor, should not be 4.21 DK. That's like a really fair price. It's a really good price. Yeah, I mean, some people like to wait and see, but I think that's a pretty good price on Francisco Lindor, the speed and power combination over the years. Geez, we got the Mets in meatball sub and the Cubs in blow pop. I don't think any relevant pitchers pitched earlier today because it was a 10-3 game. I was looking mostly like, the middle of the road guys. So I think everybody will be available. Many times, pitchers are allowed to pitch twice sometimes. But so I think bullpen's an issue. Is just kind of the long and short if you're curious or the people listening were curious. But, geez, how did Cardi do with the Mets and the Cubs?
I would just say, like, normally, Cardi and I argue a lot generally, but I think something great might have just happened. Like, how much I hate the term leverage, and I hate it. But he just said you could spread some leverage on it. I could get with that phrase a little bit, spreading some leverage onto something. So I'm actually now potentially on board. So this is good. I have them in the same spot. Like, I do really kind of like the Cubs. Like Dansby Swanson is back to life, I guess. Maybe Matt Shaw might be something. Suzuki, of course, is good. They're cheap. Carson Kelly for a cheap catcher is pretty good. So yeah, I do like the Cubs. I'm happy with that.
Taylor, who I've not done a baseball show on, but he does the weekend stuff. The term he likes to use sometimes, I like this term, a dusting. You can get a dusting of somebody. Instead of, it's not leverage, obviously, but I like when he throws that one out. I got to work that. I got to steal that from Taylor. Get yourself a dusting of Francisco. I think that's like 8%. I don't know what exactly. A pinch is like 4%. A dusting is like 8%. Not sure. I need the breakdowns. Okay, we're not moving the team.
Probably going to start for it.
Milwaukee and Cincinnati. It's been pretty quiet this series. Expecting more in this ballpark. 9.5 total. Still pretty big total. Obviously, it's a great hitting environment. Shane Drawn against Rhett Lauder. Cheese, the board is yours. Is this game due? Are we due to get some runs for Milwaukee and the Reds?
Yeah. Either way, you guys can tilt Cardi with simple language. Like you can either say that it's due and it has to hit because it's due, or that it can't hit because it's been bad the last 2 days. Either way, he's not going to love it. But those are your only two options.
I want to play roulette with those guys.
Yeah, I'm going to put the Brewers up top. I do think they turn it around this time. Like Rhett Lauder is just not a thing. And this is the one slate where you really kind of can afford the overpriced Brewers. I mean, I do think that on DK, like Yelich, Turang, Contreras, Bauer, like they are kind of overpriced on an individual basis for who they are. But if you're not playing Ohtani, you really do have the salary. So I'm going to put them up top. The Reds are a little trickier. Like I'm playing some Drohan. I think he's pretty good. They're very boom or bust. I'm going to put them in the middle. I'm doing a little more just power hunting, but I wouldn't argue with you if you stacked them either.
Cardi, Milwaukee, we got our first team in sunflower seeds. We got the Brewers up there all the way up top and Cincinnati in the middle. Does that work for you?
Yeah, that works for me. Brewers for sure. Like, I think they're the top team on the slate. I definitely agree with them there. I think you could argue for Cincinnati being a little higher, but they're probably fine where they are.
There's something I want to do. I saw somebody in chat said 10 minutes until FanDuel lock. We talked about the FanDuel specific teams, but geez, if you can just give me, if you're, people are making FanDuel lineups right now, and we'll knock out all these teams in a second, but is there anything we should note or make sure to circle or make sure to focus on teams we've not yet talked about for FanDuel? Just kind of give them an alert, give them a heads up. Favorite teams, FanDuel specific, that we've not yet discussed.
No, there's not much in the later games that's jumping out as a FanDuel specific value. You always got the Ketel Marte thing. He seems a little too cheap on FanDuel. But otherwise, it's all kind of the same. And as far as these early games, I think you get away without stacking any of them. I mean, I like the Nationals. I think you could certainly at least play, if you have salary, play power bats in that game, Wood, Abrams, Harper. I would want at least something of that in a bunch of FanDuel lineups. But otherwise, nothing else jumps out as oh, this is the thing you need on FanDuel. That's really kind of it. If you're picking out other one-offs from those early games, I do think Caglianone and Caminero would be my favorite plays from those first three games.
Yeah, Caglianone is hot. We talked about that earlier.
He's hot and he's due to keep being hot.
Same question for you, Cardi. Just, in these last four games, we'll talk about here in a second. We're going to go game by game in just a second. But just if somebody's making a FanDuel lineup right now, is there anybody you want to prioritize FanDuel specific? Be it we talked about the pitchers already, but hitting wise, again, we also said that a lot of these team totals they're all kind of the same. Here's another team total. It's 4.5 or 4.25. Nothing really jumping off the board. No incredible hitting environment. Anything you think we should go out of our way to point out for FanDuel hitting on these teams we've yet to discuss?
No, I feel like we've kind of touched on it. The Philly stuff is what I like the most. Trey Turner, I think on FanDuel is great. That's kind of the main thing that sticks out about it, I think.
Being told in chat it's Eugenio Suarez's bobblehead night tonight for Cincinnati, so I know Cardi is going to bump him up in the bat for sure. That's that. At least start him at one. Start him at one home run as a median number, I presume. Dodgers, Twins, Ohtani versus Joe Ryan. Joe Ryan scratched the other day due to illness. There were some people speculating, there was also rumors of him he may get traded, he may not get traded at some point, but I presume he was just ill. They scratched him pretty early, but he's back in throwing baseballs tonight against the Dodgers. Speaking of back, Dalton Rushing is back for the Dodgers. Still out is Kyle Tucker, not in the lineup today. Speaking of homers, Byron Buxton homers every day. Will he homer versus Ohtani? Maybe. We shall see. But their team total is pretty low because Ohtani's very good. Cardi, Dodgers, Twins, what do you got?
No interest in the Twins against Ohtani. You get some leverage. Yeah, you get decent pricing on them, but they're still the Twins against Ohtani. I just don't think you have to do that on this slate. So I put that in crab legs. If you're doing 150, maybe, but I don't love it personally. I probably would just ignore them. And then in terms of the Dodgers, I think I'd have them in the middle. I'd have them with Licorice. Not because the matchup is anything great. It's not. It's Joe Ryan is a pretty good pitcher, but I do think Joe Ryan at this point in his career is a little bit overrated as a pitcher, and they are the Dodgers. And it looks like Ryan's actually going to pick up a little bit of ownership. So I think, I think some low-owned Dodgers against, against the pitcher that's a little worse than people think they are. I kind of like them just because they're the Dodgers.
All right, Cheese, we got LA and Licorice and Minnesota. I believe you said Minnesota crab legs, if I'm not mistaken. I saw Steve was in the chat, so he might have missed that. There you go. Steve's placing Minnesota on the board in crab legs. Yeah, Cheese. LA in the middle, the Twins at the bottom. Does that work for you?
Yeah, Twins at the bottom is good. And yeah, the Dodgers are the Dodgers. It's kind of like the Yankees where you just kind of got to play them, but you would rather, if you have to choose, you would rather play against Joe Ryan than against Tariq Skubal. I do think Ryan, I mean, he's good. Like, he's definitely good. And he has been, he's looked better against lefties this year, but like, I don't think he's ever going to not be a guy who gives up homers to lefties. So I don't mind like mini stacking with some power, but you should always have a stack of Dodgers at some point.
I see in our chat, Don Yeezy's asking, he wants a question specific for Cheese. You're making me do work here, Don Yeezy. I'm scrolling up. I'm finding your question. I think it was Drohan. Cheese, who you're prioritizing, Drohan or Brat? I guess he missed that part. You're playing Drohan, correct?
Definitely Drohan. Yeah, like you would have, like you have to just desperately need the salary for Brat. There's no ceiling just because of the pitch count, and yeah, definitely Drohan over Brat.
Speaking of the Brat-a-tat-tat, Mitch Brat and the Diamondbacks, they're in St. Louis, 9 total. That's our next game up here, Cheese. Basically a coin toss. Well, a slight favorite here for St. Louis. We mentioned no Burleson taking on Brat, the left-hander making his MLB debut. Where do you have the Cards? Well, why is Nelson Velasquez no longer 2K? I could have used the 2K Nelson Velasquez. A little bummed about that. Now 3-4 or whatever he is, 3-6. That's outrageous. Cheese, Cardinals, Arizona.
Yeah, so this one is flummoxing me in the exact same range as the Astros Blue Jays game. Like, you can very much make a case why either of these two teams could break the slate, and yet I don't like just fully love it. This is kind of what you're talking about at the beginning of the show. Like, it's all kind of good, but none of it's like, oh, this can't miss. And we also probably have some pinch hit risk with some of the cheaper guys on both teams too. And you add in let's say you get 4 innings from Brat probably, so you got all this bullpen. So like, I don't know if Velasquez and Fermin stay in the game, or Pedro Pages Pajes. I don't know if all those guys stay in the game.
Yeah. Burleson's lurking.
Yeah. So essentially, I like the Diamondbacks a little bit more than the Cardinals. So I'll put them in blow pop and the Cardinals in the middle. But like, I could go either way between blow pop and licorice for either and or both of these teams.
Keep hitting that like button. Do subscribe. Turn on those notifications so you know when we go live. The more times you hit the like button, the more spins we get in the wheel. We're spinning that wheel after we finish the last game, the Athletics and the Giants. And I see in the chat, just need 5 more likes to get 1 more bonus spin. Cardi, how did Cheese do? Arizona and blow pop. St. Louis right in the middle, licorice. Does that work for you, or do you have a rebut?
Yeah, this is one where I think I disagree a little bit with Cheese. I'd have them both lower. I'd have Arizona down in licorice, and I'd have St. Louis probably down in crab legs.
Really?
They're St. Louis. They're not that great, and they're facing Mitch Brat, who does profile to be a decent pitcher right out of the gate. And we said earlier, he's not going to go very deep into the game, so you're going to get a lot of bullpen. It's just not a spot that I'm really looking to attack here. So I would have St. Louis down a lot further.
I think it's always worth stacking against a pitcher making their MLB debut just because, it's the old box of chocolates. And I'm not convinced that this guy's going to be anything special. And isn't Arizona's bullpen kind of rough? And if it's like let's say Brad.
They're more middle of the road now. They started out pretty rough, but it's not a bad bullpen.
They got better. Okay. Yeah, I'm more on St. Louis in the middle. That's interesting. Where'd you want to put Arizona? Were you fine with Arizona, Cardi? You want to move them down as well, right? Yeah. The one thing you can say about Arizona, you got some cheap pieces, right? Tommy Troy is cheap. Groover is cheap. I'm not sure how good he is, but he is cheap. Gurriel, I'm not sure what's left in that bat at this point, but he's cheap. So those are kind things I suppose you can say. Arenado, revenge, is outside of like Marte and Carroll, they're super cheap. So for that reason, I'm going to keep Arizona where they're at, and we shall move on. There's still 2 more games to go. It is Atlanta, San Diego. JP Sears taking on Martin Perez. Again, no Baldwin for Atlanta. He's been scuffling since coming back from injury. Joey Bart doing the catching tonight for the Braves. Martin Perez taking on the Padres. Cardi, 8 total. What do you got?
I know the Padres and Meatball Sub. I know Cheese said that Martin Perez has been a good pitcher. I think good is a little bit generous of a word. But I still don't have a ton of interest in San Diego against him. They just don't project that well. And Perez has been better than you would expect. Braves against Sears.
I expected a 2.78 ERA, just to be clear. That's not better than I expect. That's what I expected.
I mean, good for you, man. You should create a projection system.
Yeah, Martin, he peaked at 35, right?
Yeah. Had to happen sometime.
Braves against Sears, I'd probably have in the middle. I could see them going up into blow pop because they are priced pretty well. Sears is a little bit of that box of chocolate kind of thing. We don't know who he is this year. It hasn't looked great in the minors. But the Braves lineup is not awesome at the moment. So I think I'd probably just have him in licorice.
Cheese?
Yes, I agree with that. I mean, it's not like Martin Perez is a guy you're not allowed to play against or anything. But you can barely ever play the Padres, so I'm fine with them there. Braves, yeah, I would put them in the middle, I guess. It is weird how bad the lineup looks like every day, pretty much, and yet they're like really great. I mean, they're if you go by good old just are you winning baseball games, yeah, they're kind of great. But I don't like see anything that I really want to play. But I think we can also say like the Padres bullpen isn't quite as like they kind of started out the year and I was like, this is the elite bullpen you can't ever play against. They're not quite that now. And this was like the weird random pretty good game last night with offense. And I could see another one of those. Like, how did this game end up being 7-6? But I'm still not
Also
sure that
worth
really
noting,
helps you.
Worth noting with their bullpen, Mason Miller and Adrian Morejon have both pitched the last 2 days, so probably not going to see either of them tonight.
I like that. And isn't Atlanta actually stat-wise the best bullpen in baseball? I'm pretty sure they've been the best bullpen in baseball.
It might have moved. They're definitely good.
Yeah, I can check that on the fly. Let me see. Let's Sierra. Oh man, I have it on players. I got to circle back and check back in here in a second. But yeah, not a bullpen I want to mess with, especially with the Padres. And offense is not very good. So I kind of like. Did you guys? It sounded like you guys agreed. My apologies. I was fixing a lineup. I think you guys agreed with Atlanta and San Diego. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay.
And according to Sierra Dean, Atlanta's bullpen is second behind the Phillies.
Phillies. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. But an ERA, I think they're like half a run in front of everybody or something like that.
Good old ERA. Martin Perez and the Atlanta bullpen cannot be scored upon. Kings right
I know.
there.
A lot of us don't necessarily. I mean, it's something, but yes, Sierra I think is a much better metric. It's a number. The last game, let's knock it out. It's the Athletics. Athletics taking a big ballpark downgrade, jumping to San Fran, hoping to maybe get to one of those splash hits, add to the total. Tyler Mahle for the Giants. Gage jump, throwing baseballs for the A's. Close us out, Cheese. By the way, Bolte is leading off for the Athletics. He's a good triples alley player. I don't know what the market is for triples. Bolte is an interesting triples play today, though, for player props. He'd be my 1-1 if I was drafting for a triple today. Or Denard Span. Is Denard Span playing? I don't think he's available. So it's Bolte. I think Bolte's the guy. He's not. He didn't crack the lineup today. Cheese, what do you got?
So yeah, I mean, I will just say we have to say it's rare that we get this opportunity on the show. Lefty masher Paul Goldschmidt homer off Scooball. Like stats do not lie. There's nothing you can do to hide from that one, Derek.
Take the L, Derek. Take the L. Just take the L.
It is over. But anyhow, This game is weird because if this was in West Sacramento, like the A's would be like mega chalk. And you can afford them because really there's only Kurtz, Langoliers, and sort of Soderstrom are expensive, and then it gets cheap because Geloff is out. But like on this slate, it's not like we have a bunch of great hitting spots. I mean, you got the game in Cincinnati. So like, and when these guys hit the ball, like it'll go out of any park. Like, yeah, maybe there's a ball that lands on the warning track that would have been a home run at home. But I still really like the A's. And I don't think they'll even really be that popular. I'm going to put them in sunflower seeds.
Ooh, okay.
That is with ownership considered. That is not just straight up who do I think scores the most runs, but like I think they're going to be just way down the board ownership wise. So I like that. Giants are kind of a meatball sub for me. I do think Gage Jump is good, and I just don't really love them against lefties all that much.
Carter, you're not going to believe this. Before you rebut here and close us out, Goldie also had BVP against.
Oh my goodness gracious!
5 for 10 entering the game with 2 homers. I mean, good Lord, double L's for Cardi here. BVP. How did you not hammer Goldie the homer off a screwball?
And it was a mistake clearly on my part. It was the obvious play that I just didn't make. So it is what it is. Should have looked at that BVP. Won't make that mistake again next time.
Never lies. How did
I agree? I agree with the Giants where they are. The A's seem aggressive. I think I'd have them down in blow pop. I don't like them nearly as much as I like the Brewers. I know Cheese said that ownership is considered with that, and they will be lower owned. I don't think this is the kind of slate where ownership is going to make a ton of difference. So I would have them just lower, but that's just me.
Do you think there's going to be one team that stands out? Let's talk DK because there's less stuff, right? Is there going to be one of these like 5 or 6 teams that rises ownership wise, Derek? Are you seeing? If there was one that was clear and like you knew it before, like pre-flop, I could cross them out, and I'm perfectly. There's not one that like is significantly better than the rest. Is there somebody that's kind of like showing? Can you predict? Are we showing that
Brewers are projecting for the highest ownership, but not like a crazy amount?
Yeah.
I would say Brewers and probably Arizona, I think.
Okay.
I know our ownership projections have Arizona, like Carol, Marte, and Perdomo really high, which I think that might happen.
I really do like the Athletics here. I don't know if I like them much as sunflower seeds because of the ballpark. So I'm gonna move them down the blow pop. But I'm not gonna move them all the way down. And Sam Fran, I think Gage is good. And I think you guys agreed anyway, so I can't do anything. So to recap the board, we got and if you missed it, you guys saw Jazz Chisholm. He was sucking on, I guess, ate a blow pop. And it was, it broke the internet. People cared for some reason. And then I just power ranked foods to eat while playing baseball. Sunflower seeds, that's got just Milwaukee, all by themselves. Blow pop tier 2, Philadelphia, Washington, Chicago, that's the Cubs. Arizona, the Athletics. Licorice is tier 3. Black licorice, shout out Turk Wendell. That's Houston, Toronto, Cincinnati, the Dodgers, St. Louis, and Atlanta. Meatball sub, tier 4. Tampa, Kansas City, Pittsburgh, Seattle, the Mets, San Diego, San Fran, tier 5. Crab legs, bring your mallet. You got Detroit, the Yankees, and the Twins. Let's spin the wheel, producer Steve. I think we got at least 3 we're giving away. Go for it.
Yes, do it. Look how oh my goodness.
Shout out to Ruthless Villain.
That is so rigged. Look just up on the chat. Look just up on Discord chat. That is glorious.
And I thought they de-rigged it, but
I did nothing.
That is not, as proven.
I don't even look
real
at
as Lefty Mashers right now.
All right.
He says, "Please ring it for me." And there, you gotta ask. He did say, "Please."
Yeah, just ask next time.
Carolina Guy also, I don't know if Carolina Guy has to for the wheel to get rigged, but also a week free for Carolina Guy. One more spin. Lincoln Hawk. Why did we hear the same song over and over? We usually get a mix. Why was there no mix? Just random? And
Why would you want a different song than that?
Some of
I
the
don't
songs are getting us hit with copyright. I don't know why.
okay, yeah. We usually get he changes it up song by song, but we don't want to get struck by a copyright. All right, shout out to the Lincoln Hawk. Producer Steve's going to juice up with some RG Premium. We do want to go position by position here in just a second. Before we do that, Cheese, can you give me a quick synopsis? Pitchers that are left standing. How are you rostering pitchers tonight?
If you have salary, you may as well play Ohtani, but I don't think he's a huge priority because of how expensive he is. I like Imanaga the best at his salary. Gage jump second. And then Drohan is my favorite cheap guy. I've got a little bit of Martin Perez. You could certainly play Joe Ryan and Trey Savage too. I'm just not going to try to play all those guys.
Cardi, anything you want to add as far as pitchers, by all means, go for it. Otherwise, talk to me about catchers, please.
All right. So we mentioned Milwaukee being our favorite tonight. So I think William Contreras, reasonably priced, facing Rhett Lauder in Cincinnati, great ballpark. He's the guy I like the most. He's the guy that I think will be highest owned on this slate. To save money, I think Alejandro Kirk and Carson Kelly are both pretty good options. And yeah, that's catcher.
Cheese, catcher, please.
Yeah, so this plays right into the why I like the A's so much. Like nobody's going to play Langoliers, and you can afford them. So I love him. I like Gabriel Moreno a little better than the other cheap guys. He's a little more expensive too. And then for $2,800, Carson Kelly, if you need salary, I'm very content with that.
First base.
First base, same thing. Nick Kurtz. I don't think anybody's really playing. Not nobody, but I love him. Play him. But if you don't have 6,100, I'll go Jake Bauers over Freddie Freeman, I guess. It seems a little weird to say, but I'll go Bauers over Freeman, and South Stewart is close behind, and Vlad is right there. Like all these guys are very close to me, and they're very closely priced. So I go Bauers, Stewart, Freeman, Vlad, but you can put them in any order. I wouldn't really argue. My favorite cheap guy is Groover, which in theory, Mark Vientos is probably better than Groover. I would just rather play a guy against Liberatore than Imanaga.
Yeah.
You just want to play a guy named Groover. That's all
I do. Or named Lou James.
Or Lou James.
Lou James Groover.
Second base. I believe Cheese is up second. Yes.
Is that what's happening?
I didn't talk about first yet.
Yeah, Dean, let's try it again.
Derek Carty, first base. Maybe you want to play a guy named Lou James Groover or somebody else that's playing first.
I would rather do the Vientos thing. If you're saving money, Groover's fine, but Vientos, platoon advantage, hitting cleanup. Imanaga gives up home runs. Vientos is really cheap. At the top, I don't have a big preference between the top guys. They all project similarly. They all project for similar ownership. It's kind of just like take your pick. Freeman, Vlad, Bowers, Kurtz. I like South Stewart a little bit less than the others, but he's right up there too. I don't have a lot of strong takes at first base tonight.
Talk to me about second base, and if you can, Joey Meneses is 2K on the Athletics. He's second base, third base eligible. We barely have seen him this year. He just came back. Is he going to play the entire game at 2K? Joey Meneses? I remember mostly as on Washington. He might be useful if he's 2K.
Yeah, 2K is not a bad price for him. He's still Joey Meneses. Like he could have been a thing. He was a prospect, but I was never a big believer in him. I'm still not. So I think I'd rather, if I was going to play a cheap guy tonight, like I'd much rather just play Davis Schneider for Toronto for 2.1K. I think the matchup is better. I think he's the better hitter. That's the direction I would go. Up in the mid-range, Jose Altuve looks pretty nice tonight, I think. And on the high end, you have Turang and you have Marte, who are going to be both really good plays. Obviously on FanDuel, it's already locked, but Marte's price on FanDuel is just egregiously low. And then I like some Tatis. I still think he's better than he's been so far this year. Hit a home run last night, I think it was, starting to pick it up a little bit.
He's hot. Derek just said he's hot. You heard it here first.
That's what I heard.
Pretty much said he's hot. The price is starting to get a little high where people might not want to be paying it. So I kind of like Tatis tonight.
Cheese, second base. I'm curious if you have any Meneses. You probably were making lineups before the show and didn't know he was going to be playing. So I'm guessing you didn't have any pre-show.
That's correct. I don't really need a 2K second baseman. And also, I do like Davis Schneider and I do like Pedro Ramirez. So it's not like he's even the only guy. So I'm not going to change things around so that I can get Joey Meneses. But because I'm not spending up a pitcher, I can pretty much just get Turang or Marte. So that's where I'm leaning.
That's a pretty good deal. Do you want to jump to just third base if that's all you have as far as second?
Sure. I kind of think second is better than third. So if I was going to play Meneses, I'd probably play him at third, honestly, because I'll take Marte and Turang over whoever of, Stewart, Machado, Okamoto, Muncy. This is the random day when second might be better than third. Muncy is probably my favorite Dodger to play as a one-off. Okamoto has very real power. I played him a lot, and I'll keep playing him while he's going to stay cheap too, I guess. So I'm quite good with him. I don't think there's anyone else other than that on my board here.
Cardi third, then jump to short, please.
Yeah, Akamoto's the guy that I like the most. He projects the best. He doesn't project for crazy ownership. I would be heavily over the field on Akamoto, I think. I'd also have some Austin Riley and some Matt Chapman, both with platoon advantages, both in the top half of their orders. Chapman in particular, hitting leadoff is really, really kind of cool that they're doing that with him a few times lately. I don't think anyone's going to really play him against Jump, but there's plenty of uncertainty still with who Jump is, and Chapman has tons of power, especially against lefties.
Shortstop?
Francisco Lindor is only 4.2K. It's, Imanaga, who is theoretically one of the best pitchers on the slate, but he also can implode, can give up home runs. I like Lindor a lot at that price. He projects as the top guy, and he's so cheap that I don't think from a cash value perspective, you don't have to do much else. You do have Dansby Swanson on the other side of the game, who's been really good of late, 2 home runs earlier today. 3.6K for him is a nice price tag. Those would be my 2 favorites here. I think Willie Adames is definitely a guy you can play in tournaments for the same reason that you'd play Matt Chapman. I think Cooper Pratt, if you need to save money, is the guy that I like doing it the most with. I think he's really interesting against Louder at the bottom. And I think Jeremy Pena is one of my favorite tournament guys who's going to come in just way lower than he should be. It's not a great shortstop slate, and I don't think anyone's going to be playing Pena against Savage. So he projects for only 4% ownership, and he projects as the 3rd best shortstop on the slate according to the BetX. So I think Pena is a really good play, everything considered.
Cheese short, then jump to the outfield, please.
Shortstop is kind of like the slate as a whole, like with the stacking. Like it's all kind of okay, but I don't really love any of it. Like I barely care who I have. So this is more so play a guy in the stack position. I'm fine with Lindor and Pena, Perdomo, Betts. I guess I'm going to say Swanson's my favorite. Like since they're all so close, just even being a little bit cheaper, I'll just take that. And then I like Cooper Pratt as well for a salary saver. The expensive outfielders feel like good plays, but not like, oh, you just have to have them. I would take Alvarez first if I have a spend. I'm going to go Carroll second ahead of the Brewers guys if I'm not full stacking. And then Suzuki probably next. And then from there, I'm more going value hunting. We kind of talked about Varsho, like he's not great, but now he's 3,100 and Burrows is bad. I'm very torn between Varsho and like Garrett Mitchell and Henry Bolte. Now he's leading off. They're all pretty likable and put Sal Frelick in there right around 3K. So most of my lineups have two pretty cheap outfielders and maybe just one of those expensive guys.
Cardi, outfield, please, and think of some homers.
Yeah, I agree with Cheese. If I have one spend, Alvarez is my guy. I think I like Jackson Churio more than he does, though. I like him more than just about everybody else on the slate. I like Churio a lot tonight. I like George Springer a ton in the mid range for 4K. I think he's just probably the best value outfielder on the slate. Davis Schneider, if you're not playing him at second, you can play him in the outfield as a punt. Even Varsho at 3-1, I don't mind. We talked earlier about the bat speed being down, the launch angle being down, everything. But for 3-1, I think he's perfectly fine to play. You do have the Henry Bolte thing though. Hitting leadoff tonight for 3K is really nice for him. Yeah, that's kind of it for me. I mean, I like the Milwaukee stuff. I like Bowers. I like Yelich. I like Mitchell. But yeah, that kind of covers it.
Can you give me some home runs? Maybe 3 homers, different price tiers. What do you got for me?
Sure. At the top, I think I would probably be going with Alvarez. If price and everything's not an option, I think he's your top guy. Mid-tier, give me Francisco Lindor because he's priced mid-tier now, and then low end, give me Mark Vientos.
Garcia homered for Washington, by the way. First inning homer, not from Abrams, not from Wood, but from Garcia. Speaking of homers, Cheese, what do you got?
Wood, Abrams, and Lilly. Also moving on, Langoliers at the high end. We'll go with Okamoto and another kind of cheapy or very cheapy, Tommy Troy.
Questions in the Discord are prioritized. Flores, Mark, DK single entry card. You got Gurriel or Garrett Mitchell?
Garrett Mitchell.
Cheese's favorite game stack. Jay Brunton wants to know. Maybe phrase that.
I'm only answering baseball questions on the show. I'm not even going to entertain this term. If you have a different question, free to ask it.
Cardi's favorite lefty masher. Jay Brunton wants to know. Flores Mark's got a question. Cheese, give me your top 4 team stacks. I have Brewers and D-backs at the moment. We do this if you have premium. I think you have premium. Maybe you don't. We rank our top 5 every single day in the rankings. Geez, who's your top 4 team stacks?
Brewers 1, A's 2, Cubs 3, Diamondbacks 4.
Yeah, and we also do it on the screen. We have an entire section dedicated to talking about stacks. On FanDuel, Cardi, you got Bowers or Yelich? Boney wants to know.
Probably Yelich for me, but I like them both.
Dolphin Addict.
It's probably Bowers.
Dolphin Addict Cheese question on the screen. Bolte, Otani, Jump, Kurtz, DK single entry. Oh, okay. So it's 2v2, I suppose. Jump and Kurtz versus Otani and Bolte.
Are you asking me?
Yes, sir.
I mean, that's so super close. Like in a cash game, I would play Otani and Bolte. Bolte. I prefer Jump and Kurtz for a tournament, though, even a single entry.
DeBone or Varsho, Cardi? DeBone or Varsho?
Varsho.
I believe Toronto is locking right now at 707. We can knock out a couple more questions. Jackson's got a question here for Cheese. Question on the screen. Single entry lazy chalk to go. Otani Jump and Brewers Reds. Oh boy, game stack. Why do I keep asking these questions? The Cheese.
Well, so the fact that you can do that is kind of why I say, like, yeah, Otani's going to be 40% owned, even though he, air quotes, shouldn't be. It's so easy to fit him, especially with the cheap Reds and bottom of the order Brewers. Yes, that's lazy chalk, but I mean, it's a pretty good build. Like, I can't tell you it's bad.
Let's see. New Generation just asked a question about Vlad, and that game just locked. So really can't help you out there. Vlad or Tatis versus Kurt and Mitchell. Thank you, Peter, for watching. Thank you, Cardi and Cheese. Thank you, Steve, for producing. Thank you, Mr. Richard, for the kind words. Are there any other questions that are lurking before we step aside? I know everybody is excited to watch Scotland and Brazil, so we don't want to keep you all too long. I don't see any more questions in the Discord channel as well. Of course, we're back tomorrow. Keep hitting that like button. If you won today on the wheel, Steve, I assume he's already contacted you in the Discord channel. Shout out to you. Tomorrow we'll give away another week free of RG Premium. I'm seeing nothing else. Geez, you got anything for the road?
I don't. I got to go stare at my wall since that's more exciting than the other option of what I could go do. So let me get out of here and do that.
Cardi, you going to paint it first or just stare at it? Just stare at the wall.
Just simply going to look at it.
Cardi, Andrew wants to know DK single entry, Sal Stewart or Olsen at first base?
Sal Stewart.
That game starts in a minute, so hopefully we gave you enough time on that one. Quick turnover. One more for the road here. Cardi Flores Marks wants to know Pratt or pay up for Perdomo.
Give me Pratt.
And I believe that game locks in about 20 seconds as well. All right. Casey, stop leaving men on base. I'm guessing producer Steve probably bet Kansas City or bet the over in that game, and he's tilting because Jack's no runs yet for Jax, but he looks like he's struggling a little bit out there. 3 hits and a walk through 2. All right. Hit that like button, subscribe, turn on notifications. As always, reminder, get yourself the Bat X. Check the description for that to get Derek Carty's actual bets as well as a part of that. We're talking about soccer throughout the show. We know the soccer package is still on sale, $24.99 for the month. And even when this, the World Cup's over, there's still more soccer to be had. The EPL, and if you like the soccer, if you got the itch, it's not going away anytime soon. Get yourself a Combo Pro on sale still, half off your first month. All right, that was Derek Carty, that was Dave Potts, that was producer Steve. Appreciate y'all watching. Go win something. We're out of here. Oh,